The woman before him was enjoying a sunbath. Suddenly, a man walked over and tried to strike up a conversation. It turned out that even after humans lost their physical bodies, they still retained thoughts and desires toward the opposite sex. But it was obvious the woman had no interest in him, because in this virtual world, she was a lofty third-class officer of the security bureau, and this lowly nobody in front of her couldn't possibly catch her attention. Just then, the beach map constructed from digital data was suddenly hacked. The hacker announced that he had discovered a new habitable zone, located beyond the Orion arm of the Milky Way. He invited the digital residents of the paradise to join him in building a new home for humanity. He called himself the Pioneer. Meanwhile, Lisa, a young agent of the security bureau, began tracing the Pioneer's intrusion route. It turned out this wasn't the Pioneer's first intrusion, yet no one had ever managed to catch him. All they knew was that he came from the undigitized population still living on Earth. Earth's ecosystem had long become unsuitable for human habitation. Most people chose to abandon their physical bodies and preserve only their minds and memories to live in the paradise. But some still refused to connect to the paradise and continued living on Earth. And the man before her was the partner Lisa had come to the surface to meet. Not long ago, the security bureau's upper management finally lost patience with the Pioneer's intrusions and sent Lisa and others to the surface to track down his real body. Eager to earn merit as always, Lisa set out a full day earlier than the others. The girl who had just stepped onto the surface breathed in the air and sighed that although Earth's environment had severely deteriorated, it didn't look quite as terrible as she had imagined. But at that moment, a commotion erupted in the distance. Lisa followed the sound to investigate. It turned out a man was being chased by a swarm of giant arthropods, and when she looked closely, the man running for his life was exactly the one she was looking for. To conserve ammunition before completing her mission, Lisa decided to engage the creatures in close combat first, but the sheer difference in numbers was overwhelming. Her combat mech was about to be buried under the swarm, when suddenly, the man who had been chased earlier was now crouched on a distant rock and began helping her take down the massive creatures. He reminded Lisa that their weak point was the head. Upon receiving the information, she stopped conserving ammo and soared into the air, entering full headshot mode. Before long, under the girl's overwhelming firepower, the swarm that had nearly dominated the battlefield was reduced to a field of corpses. But clearly, the girl, as the superior officer, was losing her sanity points over a subordinate who caused trouble the moment they met. To an absurd degree, these creatures were attracted by the sound of metal clashing, and that massive swarm earlier had been deliberately lured over by the man, so she could help him deal with his valuable merchandise. These disgusting-looking corpses were actually highly sought-after assets on Earth. The man packaged and sold them, and made a fortune once again. Lisa looked at the man before her, and seriously doubted whether he was fit for this mission. She emphasized again that she had just spent 60 to 70 precious seconds helping him clean up those damn bugs, to leave a day earlier than the other agents. Lisa was supposed to use an adult body, but she ran out halfway through the generation process, which was why she looked like a lowly. Looking at the girl before him, the man finally moved. He walked up to the massive piece of paradise technology. It was his first time seeing a mech from outer space. The girl told him that on Earth, this mech was equivalent to a paradise operating terminal. Lisa looked at the man, as if she were looking at a caveman, still showing off the advanced technology and civilization